Good evening, YouTube and Tribe of the Horror Realm. This is video response to Tattooed Doorman's 7-day cult challenge. It's actually just after midnight. Excuse me. Been pretty busy evening into tomorrow morning. Of course, if you've seen any of the other videos, we had a couple of friends pass away, and the wakes and funerals are pretty much on the same days, so we've had to do a couple of them tonight, and then tomorrow morning we'll be banging about for the funerals. And one thing I found out, and this has kind of always got me when I go to a funeral, or a wake rather, is no matter what, when you go, there is always someone that wants to, I don't know, be polite or something and say, "Doesn't he look good?" I mean, well, come on. No, he looked a lot better when he was alive. But they seem to feel the need to say that. And every time I've gone to any of these, I always look, I'm like, well, doesn't really look like that person. I mean, I'm sure they do their best, but it doesn't really quite look like them. But I don't know, regardless, I ended up telling my wife that like, I don't actually get along with one of her sisters. Kind of pretty much think she's like tits on a bowl. She's pretty useless. And I told her, well, whatever it is, don't have your sister come to my wake, because it's always going to be about her. And they said, you know what I'll do? I'll guarantee you I'm going to make sure of that. Being a big Halloween haunted house type fan, I said I'll make sure that for my coffin that I have a pneumatic arm put into the thing, so right underneath my body, that she shows up, it triggers and kind of lifts my corpse right up and sits right up into the from the coffin, and has a recording where it says, you were told not to come. Just be able to see her just screaming and hauling ass out of there. But it's probably exactly what my wife wants to see, is my friggin' body just being popping up like a cheap Bucky skeleton out of in a coffin. Anyhow, if I can get a rise out of her, one last rise out of her sister, then it's definitely worth it. But I digress, because it's not about my morbid sense of humor, but about alien invasions. And that is what Tat had set aside for this day on Cult Movie Challenge. Your favorite alien invasion. And now, by and large, I don't know, aside from it, I guess I don't mind alien invasions or aliens. I'm not the biggest science fiction fan. The further you put me out into space, and the less I'm likely to embrace the film. But that being said, there's a lot of them that I wish I could pick. I know that, unfortunately, not on DVD. One that will come right to mind is Without Warning. Always liked that one when it was back in the VHS days. There's just so many of them. I mean, you can even go with something cheesy as the green slime. But, of course, for modern day is Slither. This was so terrific and such fun. But it's not what I decided to pick. And because the subject matter is your favorite alien invasion, it didn't have to mean technically sound or an outstanding one such as this. You just had to enjoy it. And this one, the quality is pretty low, definitely low budget. And that is the Deadly Spawn. Now, just to give you an idea, this is also known as the Alien Return of the Deadly Spawn, trying to spin off of the success of the Ridley Scott film. And now the reason I like it, it's definitely low budget. I thought they did a pretty good job considering that, you know, they had all of $83.62 to work with. But, you know, you look at this, I don't know how well you can see some of the images on the back here. Now, this is obviously just the special edition DVD, but back in the day in the VHS era, I remember seeing this in the video store, and the front cover with this multi-toothed creature caught my eye, and then picking up the box and flipping it over and seeing the back and just seeing this leering skull with an eyeball hanging out and the flesh just torn right off it, and this picture of this alien with this giant maw filled with rows and rows of razor sharp teeth, and this kind of amorphous body, and it's sitting there and shuffling along in just a pool of blood at its base, where its feet would be, and you know, this subtle reflection of the creature in the blood, and all these heads around bloodied bodies. I mean, when you're a kid, this is something that you wanted to check out. You just had to see. And I can't tell you how many times this thing was out. And all I could do is make the trek to the video store and leer at this box, hoping I would be able to get this thing. So obviously the marketing of this box did really well because it was always out. I was fortunate enough to rent it a few times, and I just reveled in watching this thing. And even at its time, I was just so into seeing the gore of it. I kind of, as a kid, glazed over some of the more obviously, you know, poor puppeteering scenes. But I was just so excited to be able to see the movie. But so I think that's why it's always held a kind of a really soft spot in my heart, was that you know, it harkens back to that era where you went in and all your expectations were based off of a few small pictures on the back of a video box. And you know, this was a landmark one as far as the VHS era. You know, definitely an ambitious little project for a couple filmmakers to make this thing up, and I mean, for its time, they did a fairly decent job, and you know, the effort was shown in there. Could they have done better with a bigger budget? Possibly, but they didn't have that, so they did what they could, and they got their little film published, and at least, you know, one person here appreciates what they did, and you know, I thought they did really well. I mean, the only thing that could make this better, I mean, if you see that thing with all those teeth and that open mouth and all, is have my sister-in-law's head in there. That would make it absolutely awesome. But it doesn't, so all I can hope for is that I have a freaking pneumatic arm put into my coffin and I can pop out and give her a heart attack. Anyways, that's it. That's day 6, 7-day challenge. One more to go. See if I can be able to be one of the first people to do this, because tomorrow will be a long day, and who knows if I'll be up when Kat puts up day 7. So So thank you, and have a great evening.